watched this
Yes.
last week in Los Angeles, and man, it's amazing to watch how this was reported on. That the ICE agents were trying to carry out their job of getting rid of some of these, bad actors out there. Apparently, they're
Right.
doing a pretty good job of it. But then we had these demonstrations, protests, step up, and the media now has to step in and say, how are we going to report this? Now, from your standpoint, you say, well, you report what happened.
Right.
From their standpoint, in some cases, not so much. Talk a little bit about that, if you would.
Well, Gary, I got to tell you, so sometimes, as I'm doing my show prep for our Friday conversations, I debate what I'm going to talk about, what topic it's going to be. There was no debating this. The media's take on the riots, and I'm going to call them riots because that's what they are. The media's take on that is just reprehensible, really. It's just, but also not surprising. I mean, it got me a little fired up, but at the end of the day, this is what you would expect from the mainstream media, and it's sad, really. It's unfortunate. It's disappointing. And so what I'm talking about here is there's even a supercut, which would be a number of different clips put together that I found with the media saying that the LA riots are peaceful protests.
Right.
So they're dragging out the old trope from 2020 with the George Floyd riots, where they said the same thing. There's something, building or several cars burning behind them, and then you've got a TV reporter saying, there's nothing to see here, like Leslie Nielsen. There's nothing to see here. Move along. That sort of thing. It's just it's disgusting, actually.
Well, what happens here is, it's almost like, and not every member of the media did this, but the majority of what we read came out and basically said, oh, this is a heavy hand of government stepping in there.
Right.
Now, they kind of let Newsom off the hook, who's the governor, and they kind of let Bass off the hook, who is the mayor
of LA. Yeah.
And they say, okay, well, they haven't really done their job on this. It took 2-3 days until Mayor Bass decided to impose a curfew.
Right.
And now if you impose a curfew, I haven't ever seen anybody impose a curfew on a town that is peaceful. I've never seen that.
Right. Why would you do that? Right.
Right. So right there kind of blots out the idea that it's mostly peaceful if you're imposing a curfew on your city. And so I don't know if these people are aware of how stupid that looks. But bottom line was, if it was mostly peaceful, you wouldn't be imposing curfews. And so the point is, we automatically take a point of view when we start to report this. And that's, I think, what the offensive thing is, especially from a guy, in your case, who did report objectively when he went into a situation, didn't go in there and say, well, here's what I believe, so here's how I'll report this.
Right.
You went into it and said, here's what's happening, here's what I got to tell people, right?
Exactly. But I think the mainstream media can't help themselves because it's this is something that President Trump is doing, and they are blind with their disdain for our president, and so they're going to go against anything that he does, no matter how positive it is, or you look at it, try to look at it objectively and say, well, we've got people lobbing pieces of concrete and rocks at law enforcement. They're lighting cars on fire. They're making and using Molotov cocktails, and they're looting. And so you would look at that and say, well, that needs to stop, right? But if Trump does it, well, then that's terrible.
So we look at that situation. We say, well, that's not peaceful.
Right.
That's not even mostly peaceful.
Right.
That is destruction.
It's not peaceful at all.
That's gone beyond the right to peaceably assemble, which we all agree with. And
sure. Absolutely. 100%.
Sure. But here's the thing. If you go in with the idea, okay, well, how is Trump wrong in this case? Because that's what you have to do. You have to really, again, that is part of the derangement thing, and that is a real thing for a lot of people. You go in and say, well, okay, let's see this. How is Trump wrong? How is he responsible? Not what happened, not how is anything else responsible for this, but how is he responsible for this? Then you know the prism through which you are going to report this whole kind of situation. So during the week, we had, I don't know how many different people lined up, and it was mostly peaceful. Those are the two words, as you portrayed this morning. It was mostly peaceful. And now, I don't know about you, but mostly means the vast majority of something. Or if someone is if it's mostly something, it's way over half. Well, I'm looking out there and I'm seeing a lot less than mostly going on with fires burning. I saw people taking stuff, looting places, rocks and concrete being thrown, people getting hurt. That is not mostly. That's mostly not peaceful from where I'm looking at it. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and even if it is mostly peaceful, the part that's not peaceful is is really destructive and chaotic. It's like remember in the movie Alien, where the little girl says they mostly come at night, mostly. Well, yeah, when they don't come at night, and the aliens don't come at night, it's terrible because they're going to kill you. The aliens are going to rip you apart.
Right.
So the part that's not mostly is really bad. But yeah, I guess they the media is trying to paint it as Trump is attempting to be a dictator or authoritarian or whatever. But yeah, like as you said, Newsom and Bass weren't doing anything. And I guess I guess the whole narrative was, well, the ICE agents came in, and so this was in response to the ICE agents. Right. So that's okay, because what the ICE agents were doing is not right. This is according to the mainstream media. So then you have people protesting, but then it was when Trump brings the response in, the National Guard and the Marines. Well, if you just pull that back, then the people will stop. You're just escalating things. No, we're trying to quell things. So, yeah, it's why can't they just report what's happening?
Right.
But instead, they've got to say things. There was a local ABC. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Gary.
Marilyn Mosby in Baltimore a few years ago said, "Let's just pull back and it'll calm down." Well, guess what? It didn't calm down. People kept on looting. People kept on burning.
Right.
And that is not necessarily the right response. You just step back. Everything will be okay because you caused this. You came in and you did this action. And so Trump is doing what Trump said he was going to do, was we're going to deport the bad guys,
right.
Deport illegal aliens. And in the meantime, Governor Newsom, who says this is a sanctuary state, we're not going to help ICE. Mayor Bass says, hey, this is a sanctuary city, we're not going to help ICE. We're going to just, we'll enforce the law here, but we're not going to get in the way either. By not helping at all, they are in the way because the number one thing government is supposed to do is to protect us as citizens. And that's become a little bit harder when you have governors and mayors who do not do that for us and help us in the one main job they have. Chad, where can people buy your book, Saving the Beast? Obviously, a good read out there. Your take on where journalism is today and if it can be fixed or not.
Right, Amazon. Amazon is probably the best place, but you can also go to other online booksellers like BarnesandNoble.com or BooksAMillion.com. Anywhere, any major bookseller online.
All right, and always good to talk to you on a Friday morning, my friend. Looking forward to next week when we will find some of the new bit of the news junk on the buffet table. But
news junk, that's right.
Until then, have a great weekend, and
all right.
I'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, Gary. All right, take care. Bye.